All right, we are recording, and this is Mentorship Masters Roundtable Meetup. I know it's a little, at first it's going to be a little, or it could be a little confusing because we do have two calls today. We have the Knolly Success Coaching. Hopefully you guys have already plugged into that. If you haven't, just go to knolly.com and then you can join Knolly Success Coaching. There's not a way that I can automatically I can invite you. I think I've invited most of you, but if you didn't get the invite or see the invite, just go to knolly.com, you sign up, and then you're in the Knolly Success Coaching group, which is our group that everybody's in, and you should be telling other people about that group so they can get a taste. And then we've got this call, Mentorship Masters. There's about an hour in between the two. So, all right. So, yeah, Mina says, what's up, Masters of the Universe? So today we're going to be talking about attraction. So those of you watching this by video, I'm going to timestamp this. We're about mid-April. We're the day after what was supposed to be tax day. And so we're in the middle of COVID, and we're at home, we're in quarantine. So the agent attraction feels like it has slowed down, okay, for some of you. And I know it has, because I've been looking at the numbers. Our group is up to 103 members, okay? That's where we are right now. We have 103. And I've actually got several of you guys that have been telling me that you've been talking to people that you've been attracting to Mentorship Masters and that they've been responsive. So it's still going on. I mean, I get it. I mean, we've still got closings. I've got a closing that's scheduled for next week. But it's still slowed down. It's slowed down. Now, by the way, you guys closed more transactions this past 30 days than you did the previous 30 days. So we'll see how that trend continues. But I know you guys are ready to get back into full swing, full action. But what I thought we'd do today is just have a kind of an open discussion around attraction or recruiting, whatever word you want to use. Before we do that, though, I want to share our Mentorship Masters. We have our Each One Reach One campaign. I want to share our winners from the first quarter. So let me do that. I'm going to do that first because I'm excited about that. All right, so let me move these things. Okay, here we go. So we've got actually, let me go to this one right here. And here we go. So we came up with this campaign before COVID-19 hit called Each One Reach One. And the Each One Reach One initiative, the goal is for each of you guys to bring in one member per quarter, one person that you talk to, that you get in a relationship with, and that you bring them over here to Mentorship Masters, one person per quarter. You say, well, Knolly, why is that important? Well, we want to grow the group. We want to become, this is a Christ-centered coaching group, and here at eXp, and we want to continue to grow that. And I want you guys to continue to grow your revenue share so that you have that righteous, legitimate retirement. So that's our goal, one per quarter. Now, some of you guys, like Charles Lee, was like, man, only one? So he kind of grabbed the bull by the horns, and he's really going after it. As we, and we're going to have an open conversation about this today. And I'm going to be sharing with you first some best practices around agent attraction. And then I'll be having kind of an open conversation with you guys. So here are our winners for the Each One Reach One. Woo! Quarter 1, 2020 winners. Our number one winner is Charles Lee. What's up, Charles? Good job, buddy. Good job. What's up, man? You doing all right?
Thank you. Oh, yeah, man. Doing well.
Yeah, I didn't even tell you we'd be announcing this today. But you're how's it feel to be number one?
It feels good. I'm gonna do it next quarter too.
You're gonna be
keep
number one. What's that?
I'm gonna keep it going.
I love it. Yeah, Charles actually brought on Sharonda. No, not Sharonda. You brought on
Chandlin.
Yeah. And I'm going to be talking to Chandlin and somebody that she wants to bring on. We're going to be having that conversation tomorrow. So that's good.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you, Charles. So Charles is number one with 3. He brought on 3 agents. And then Will Gilliam is in the second spot. He brought on 2. And then Josie Williams, my wife, she brought 1. Artemis Kassane brought 1. Christy DeWolf got her 1. Bailey Pippinger got her 1. Nick Sirachuchinen, he got his 1. Rebecca Wooten got her 1. Melody Dutton got her 1. All right, Melody. Bailey Pippinger got her 1. Eugene Martinez got his 1. And Sharonda Bynum got her 1. Okay. That's each one, reach one. And I don't think I left anybody out because I went back and triple checked. So hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. But thank you to our, every one of you guys that is part of this and that participated. Okay. And I know some of you guys have been talking to people and they've been slow. They've been kicking the can. They're just not quite ready. So we'll be talking around that as well. What kind of conversations are we going to have with these people? Pamela says, congratulations, Charles. Melinda says, good job. Congrats. So let's talk around, let me find my eraser. Here we go. So we have 103 members in the group right now, okay? And actually, if each one of you guys brought in 1 person every quarter, it would actually double the size of our group every quarter. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. That's the vision. That's where I want to take this thing. We actually have, and I'm going to share with you some bigger numbers. I'm on a group at eXp called eXp Influencers, okay, or Influencers at eXp. There are 100 members in the group. So out of the 28,000 agents that we have at eXp, I'm one of the 100, okay, that are considered influencers at the company. And that's typically like coaches, authors, trainers, speakers, people that have a platform. And I'll just share with you some behind the scenes stuff that we've been talking about. So in North America, our 10-year goal, okay, and this is not coming from corporate, by the way, this is off the record because we are a publicly traded company, okay, we're publicly traded. So when it comes to projections, we don't make public projections from leadership. Okay, but just those amongst ourselves that are casually talking about what could happen, okay, this is what we see. We see about 400,000. Did you need me? No. We see 400,000, okay, write that down, 400,000 agents by 2030. Okay, you say, Knolly, how's that possible? Well, in North America alone, there's about 2 million real estate agents. They're not all realtors, by the way. There's about 1.3 million realtors, but there's about 2 million real estate agents, maybe a little more than that actually. So what we want at eXp is we want to have a 10% market share, okay? That's 10%. And actually, the ultimate goal there is to grow to about a 20%. Now, it's important for you guys to know this because it's true. Not every agent's going to be at eXp. I mean, a lot of them are coming. We've been seeing them coming over. Some come, some leave, some come back. We have 4 of our Mentorship Masters members that were former eXp agents, left, and then came back, into Mentorship Masters. So that happens. But ultimately, our goal is 20% of this number, okay? So that's 400,000. Okay, I'm just giving you guys big picture, okay? 10-year vision. So 400,000 in US. Now, worldwide, our goal is to open 3 countries a year, okay? 3 countries a year. Nova Scotia just got opened. We're in every province of Canada. We're in every state in North America. We're in the UK. We're in Australia. We just opened Nova Scotia. We're going to open 2 more countries this year. And we're going to open 3 countries a year for the next 10 years. That's our goal. So worldwide, our goal is 2 million agents. Okay. I see my man Chris is on the call. We're going to be open in the Philippines. Yes, we will. We're going to be. We'll be everywhere. We'll be everywhere. And So our worldwide goal is 2 million agents. I'm just sharing with you guys some bigger picture stuff that a lot of people don't talk about. So in North America, 400,000, that's 20%. And because we're a cloud-based platform, okay? So we already know that cloud-based works. We're in COVID-19. We've been on quarantine. We know that this, now it doesn't work when you can't go out and make money, but I'm saying when you can actually go out on appointments and do all that, we've learned that we can actually do business. Yes, we can, remotely. And so the 400,000, so here's the thing. 8 out of 10 agents won't be at eXp. That's not a big deal, okay? So when you're talking to people, even if 1 in 10 are getting interested, or even 1 out of 5, okay, eventually it's going to be about 1 out of 5. That's our long play. That's our long play. Now, right now at eXp, we're at 28,000 agents. So can you see the room for growth here? 400,000. We're at 28,000 now. A lot of people that I've talked to, they're like, well, is it too late? Is the opportunity past? Not by a stretch, okay? You gotta see, and this is the reason why I put my head down and I got a nice 10-year run. You're gonna see me sprinting for the next 10 years. There's a very big reason around it, okay? Now, here's what I've done. I already know that to unlock, and you guys know this too, to unlock all 7 levels at eXp, that's the game, you have to have 40 agents on your first line. 40 on your first line, okay? I've already done that, okay? So now that I've already done that, what is my focus gonna be? Think about it, because I wanna grow. The size of our organization, Mentorship Masters, is gonna be about 30,000 members. My original goal, my 10-year goal was 14,000. Now my goal is about 30,000. I was talking to Brent Gove, his main right-hand man, James, his business partner, and their goal, we actually had a high-level conversation, very, very high level, before COVID-19 hit, because they're now about 7,000 agents in their group, okay? This thing grows really, really rapidly, okay? Once we get to the tipping point of about 150 members, the thing just becomes an organism. It grows all by itself, okay? But you've got to be purposeful, okay, about attraction. If you want to get in the game, you got to get in the game. And so our goal at Mentorship Masters is 30,000 members. I've already hit my 40. So what do you think my next goal is? Well, I'll tell you. My next goal is to grow through you guys. Okay. So these 30,000 people that we want to bring into Mentorship Masters, when you see all the things that I'm doing out there that, are radical, the 30,000 members that we're bringing in into Mentorship Masters are going to be under you guys. They're not going to be under me because I've already got my 40, right? So that's the strategy. That's always been the strategy, was for me to get, I wanted to get wide and then I wanted to go deep. Okay. So those of you that understand what I'm talking about, and if you don't understand what I'm talking about, go back and learn more about attraction, because that's the strategy. So these people will be coming under you guys. So it's just a matter of, are they going to come under you, or are they going to come under the person next to you? Because they're coming. Okay. We're still, I was meeting with Dave Canor this morning on our call, and this month so far, we've added, I think, 638 agents this month, 15 in the first 15 days. Now we've been averaging 2,000 a month. So you guys know it's been slowing down. Why? Because there's a deer in the headlights, okay, with a lot of people. And one of the things that that Dave said is that the road to the future, the road to progress, is paved with flattened squirrels. Okay, what does that mean? Well, you already know that you're going down the road. That squirrel runs in the middle of the road. It better make a decision. Am I going to backtrack, or am I going to keep going straight? What am I going to do? Am I going to go back, or am I going to keep going forward? And the ones that freeze, the squirrels that freeze, get flattened. Okay, they get run over. And that's the reason why we got to keep moving, keep stepping, keep rolling with the train. No matter what happens, we got to keep rolling, because we know what the second half of 2020 is going to be. There's going to be a ton of people moving over to eXp. I guarantee, well, I don't guarantee it, but what I'm looking at is that by the end of this year, the number of agents, right now we're at 28,000 at eXp. I'm looking at that being 50,000 by the end of this year. Just write that down and keep tabs of it. So this is kind of the trajectory of where we're going, what our growth is. So I just want to give you guys big picture, and then I want to kind of bring it back and share with you the best practices around conversations around, about eXp. So the best practice is, number one, create curiosity. Okay. Let me write this down. Does anybody have any questions around this? Around where we're going, where we're headed? If you do, put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. We have another real estate company here in town, which I think is a great company. It's called Realty Austin. And a buddy of mine was asking me about it a couple of weeks ago. And then Charles had some questions around the company. And what I tell people is, Realty Austin, just to give you, sometimes it's good to get big picture stuff. So they started in 2004, okay? And they've grown to 550 agents. They started in 2004, they've grown to 550 agents. That's great. I mean, that's really good. eXp started in 2009. By the end of this month, we'll be at 30,000. 30,000 agents. Started 5 years later, we're at 30,000, they're at 550. This thing is unstoppable, guys. And especially now that COVID has taught a lot of people a lot of things. Now, one thing you're going to see is that a lot of people are not going to want to move right now. Why? Because their brokerage is loving on them. Okay. Their brokerage has had, well, for one, they don't have as much, well, they may not have, they have more time on their hands and they're really trying to keep their people. And that's what they should be doing. That's what brokerages should do. Okay. They should rally around their people, support their people, and help their people. But when you look at the long play, trying to imitate what eXp is doing is not sustainable for most companies. Okay. It's just not, because they're not set up from the beginning with that strategy in mind. They'd have to be doing a whole lot of unraveling. Okay. But that doesn't mean that there won't be more players on the horizon. Okay. There's going to be some great players on the horizon. There's competitors to Netflix. There's competitors to Amazon. All we're saying is that we want to have a 20% share. Okay. So how do you have meaningful conversations with people? And it really goes back, especially during COVID-19, all the ones that I've been working with and talking to about eXp, I don't want to just drop the ball on them. Why? So I've continued to stay in touch with these people through COVID-19. Now it's the same thing. Just like I'm not like actively trying to recruit or attract them. I'm just finding out how they're doing. Hey, how are you doing? Is it? Here's a video I just created to help you. Now in your guys' case, it'd be like, hey, here's a video that my mentor just created that's going to help you get through this. Hope you're doing okay. Okay. You can't have a long period of silence and then when everything gets back to what we think will be normal, all of a sudden start reaching people again. You gotta stay consistent with what you've been doing. And if you haven't been reaching out to them, reach out to them, and so what I do is the people that are on my list that I've been actively talking to about eXp, I'm still continuing to reach out to them about every 10 days. Okay. But the messaging is different. It's not hardcore recruiting, right? Because I know their brokerage is loving on them. I know they're getting a lot of love right now. They're getting a lot of attention. So they're not going to really be at that place to leave. But at the same time, they're not going to be feeling like, Uncle Knolly abandoned them, right, during COVID-19. They didn't hear from me. They keep hearing from me. The messaging is different. So going back to the whole core issue of attraction, though, it's really very, very simple. Number one, you have to create curiosity. Write that down. I see Deb Gilliam on the call, and I sent Deb and Will Gilliam a video, and I just created curiosity. I said, hey, this is life-changing. It's spectacular. You need to watch this. So when they went on vacation, they watched it, and they're here now. They brought about 16 agents with them. They continue to bring more agents over, okay? And this is all it is. It's just create curiosity, get them curious around the concept. Anthony's asking, what video did I send? I'll share that in a little bit. But you know, a lot of times we get hung up on the particulars. What video do I share? What, just for right now, stay with me. You know, Uncle Knolly is very comprehensive. For now, I just want to give you big picture thinking so that you change the way you think so you get a better result. Just create curiosity. That's all you want to do, is get people curious. Okay. Now, once they're curious, once they have curiosity, the second thing you do is you introduce them to the opportunity, invite them. Okay. Create curiosity, invite. Okay. Invite to the opportunity. That's what I like to say. I'm not inviting them to join eXp. I'm inviting them to look at the opportunity. Okay. Look at the opportunity. Deb Gilliam has been sharing with me a product that will allow people to pay off their mortgage within 5 to 7 years. Okay. So she's already created a lot of curiosity. I haven't watched it yet because my mortgage is already paid. So I'm being a little bit, what do you call that? A little bit stingy, if you will. But I will watch it because I've got my curiosity. I've peeked up. I'm like, what is this thing? Right. And if you haven't checked that out, you need to reach out to Deb Gilliam because that's a really good conversation starter. Okay. So create curiosity, then you invite them to the opportunity. Okay. It's all in how you think about this. eXp it's not a brokerage, guys. It's so much more than that. It's an opportunity. Okay. And it's a platform. I can't drill that enough into people, is that if I think of eXp more as a platform than I do as a brokerage, because a platform is just like, and this is what actually I learned from Will Gilliam. He said, you know, you can have a computer, and it could be powered by Intel. It could be powered by AMD. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because as long as it works and it works great, you're good. Okay. So when we have a real estate practice, now we can say our real estate practice is powered by eXp. Let's face it, those of us that are successful will succeed anywhere. We don't need eXp to be successful. Let me say it again. We do not need eXp to succeed. We don't need it. Okay. We don't need any brokerage to succeed. Okay. Well, but however, since we're going to be in business with a brokerage, or you know, some people like to do it on their own. Like, I'm a broker, I could just go out and start my own. You know, Deb and Will are brokers as well. But here's the thing: which opportunity gives me the best potentiality for success? Which opportunity provides me the best potentiality for success? eXp is by far. And I've done tons of videos that explain that, so I won't go into it here. But what you do is you create curiosity, you invite to the opportunity. And now, what video do we use? Let me show you guys some of the ones that I like. Okay. Now, because this is a question that a lot of people ask me, and quite frankly, it really will depend on the individual that you're working with, because some people have a short attention span. That's going to be probably most realtors. And some have a longer attention span. So let me just show you. When you go to Mentorship Masters group, okay, when you go to the portal, and if you don't know about the portal and all this, make sure you go back and watch my orientation video training that we did last week. We did an orientation of Mentorship Masters, and I walked you through all this. But what you'll want to go to is the tab that says Agent Attractions right here. Click on that. And then that's going to open a whole candy store of agent attraction type training. Okay. So top strategies, etc. But what you're going to want to do is go to this one right here called Attraction Videos. Okay. Click on that. And then these are all the videos that I like to use to attract. Okay. watch every single one of them. If you want to become a great attractor, okay, you need to become really good at learning the material. Okay, what are you attracting people to? Learn, study your craft, learn the game. Okay, the one that I like the most is probably going to be this one here. That's 40 minutes. Because actually what I did was I took Brent Gove's video that he did, a studio video, and I just put an intro on it about Mentorship Masters and an outro. By the way, you guys can do the same thing. You can take Brent Gove's like a raw video, and then you can just create an intro and outro. Watch this one right here, the world's most powerful real estate model. And then that way you can kind of get a feel for it. But watch all of these, and then you can decide which one you think is best for the person that you're sending. I used to send this one out right here, expand in RE in real estate, 32 minutes. There's one that's under 10 minutes. Okay, you might have somebody that, now it's not as comprehensive. That's why I don't use that one as much, but it is short. So if you're talking to somebody that's very, very busy and you just want to send them a very short video, I like the one that's about eXp in under 10 minutes, okay? Now, most people, by the way, that think that they've heard about eXp have absolutely never really heard about eXp. And I was one of them. I was one of those that thought I knew, but I really didn't. There are some longer videos here as well, but like I said, watch them all. Now, if you have a brokerage that you're trying to attract, we've got some brokerage videos here. Okay, most of these are for individual agents that you're attracting, but then we also have some for brokerages. Okay, so if you go, you'll notice that there's 3 different videos. There's this one that I did with Fred Weaver and Curtis Johnson. Really, really good video. It's about, should I bring my independent brokerage or team to eXp? This next one is moving your real estate team to eXp Realty. Okay, and then I've got another one. How to move your mega agent team. That's Jay Kinder. By the way, Jay is in our group. Okay, so he's in our what we call upline. I don't love those terms, but that's what we call it off the record. So anytime you need help from Jay Kinder, you need Mike Reese, you need Brent Gove, you need any of those guys. They're further up the chain, but they're all part of our group. Okay, so that's something you need to understand. Also, Gene Frederick, personal friend of mine. If you like his videos, we ever need to get him on a call, he's just one phone call away. And I've got his cell phone number. I've had his cell phone number for the past 10 years. Good friend. He was one of the founders of Keller Williams, and now a very, very active attractor at eXp. So definitely watch these additional videos as well if you want to really hone in. This is a phenomenal one right here, where Mike Reese and Jay Kinder actually interviewed Gene Frederick. Phenomenal video if you really want to learn what the game is all about, you know. So these are all in the Mentorship Masters portal for you guys to access. Also in there are scripts. Let me show that real quick. So when you're in the portal, you'll notice that there's also, if you go to attraction scripts right here, then these are some scripts that you can use to attract. Some are email scripts. There's an email script, and then there's a text script, okay? Here's what I want you to understand, though. It almost doesn't matter what you say. The key is that you create curiosity. You know, you create curiosity. And that's what I did. I mean, look at Charles Lee. Charles Lee's our #1 attractor for the quarter, okay? And he said he's going to get it again next quarter. I think that's what I heard him say. So he's putting the challenge out there. But let's talk about Charles for a minute. So when I talk, Charles and I came from the same office, okay, here in Austin, Texas. And by the way, a lot of times I hear people talking about, well, I can't. That guy's in a different state. It doesn't matter. Okay, we've got people from all states, cities, doesn't matter. Okay, but Charles was from my former office. I don't think we had ever officially. Did we ever officially meet each other, Charles? No. Did we ever?
No.
No. Okay. So we had never officially met each other, but you know, Charles got a hold of what I did. I created curiosity, and then he inquired. So we had a conversation. He was about to join eXp. This is a true story. In fact, he joined eXp. He filled out the application, and then he went into the eXp world, and he got turned off. because he did not like the eXp world. Isn't that right, Charles? You didn't like
Yeah,
it?
that's right.
Yeah. And what was it about it that you didn't like? What happened there?
Well, I think first of all, I had some problems actually getting in to it. And I thought, man, I don't know if I like this virtual thing. If, it comes time to getting a commission check, I want to know that I can go into an office and knock on somebody's door and say, hey, where's my check?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and see, these are the same kind of, thank you, Charles, for sharing that. These are the same kind of concerns that your people are going to have. So when I reached out to Charles, I was like, hey man, I don't see you on my dashboard. It was like 2 or 3 days later. Same thing happened with Pamela. I see Pamela's on the call. So Pamela was about to join, and then she didn't join. But see, these things take time, guys. For Charles, it was like, what was it, like 4 or 5 months, Charles?
probably 8.
8 months.
About 8 months from the time we originally talked.
8 months from the time we talked. We had a 1-hour conversation, just like I do with most of people. I talk about an hour. We had answered all his questions. He was on board. He filled out the application, and then he didn't join for 8 months. and this is reality, guys, just reality. Now he's our #1 attractor. Okay. So here's the thing. And I've heard you guys, well, I talked to that guy twice and he's not joined. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm just saying that's not how it works. Anyway, that's a whole nother, I don't want to get too fired up on this, but create curiosity. You invite them to the opportunity. Okay. And you don't want to invite them kicking and screaming. They have to see the opportunity. 80% of people won't see it, guys. We only want a 20% market share. Okay. 80% of people, you got to understand this. There's a great book out there called Go for No. Okay. Go for No. And I can't remember. I did actually a YouTube video about the book, Go for No. I can't remember the author's name offhand, but Go for No, the guy basically says, if you think about it this way, out of every 10 people you tell about eXp, 2 will join eventually. Maybe not even right away. I mean, we want to eventually have a 20% market share, eventually. I mean, if you look at our market share right now, what is it, like 1%? What's 23,000 of 2 million? Anybody know that right off? Let's see, 23,000 divided by 2 million. Okay, so we have a 1% market share right now, 1%. So 1 out of every 100 agents in North America is with eXp. Okay, now soon, listen to this. Soon that's going to become 2%. Eventually it's going to be 10, then it's going to be, we think, 20. Okay, it's got to, because if you look at what we offer and you look at the biggest real estate company out there right now by agent count is Keller Williams, and you compare the two, I mean, just project to 2030, guys. That's a dinosaur model. It can't sustain. It cannot. And so the eXp model is a 2030 model. We think, there might be something, they might have robots that replace us and then it's game check, right? So we don't know what that's going to look like, but it doesn't look like it's going to go that way. So we're at 1%. So 99 agents out of 100 have said no. Soon it's going to be out of 10 people that you tell, 8 are going to say no. That's what we want. So in other words, the book Go for No says you've got to get through the no's to get to the yeses. Okay. So in order for me to have 2 people join our group, I've got to get 8 no's. Once we're at 20%, right? So this is just what you have to understand. This is the game. So create curiosity, invite to the opportunity with a video. Okay. Number 3, follow up. Okay. And what I'll say about this is that the fortune is in the follow-up. No matter what game you're in, if you don't follow up, you lose the fortune. I remember we used to, in Marketing 101, and I'm an old school marketer. I mean, old school. I was learning marketing back in the 90s, before the internet. I was reading marketing books. In fact, I got one right here. This book I started reading when I was 18. Let's see if I have it here. Anyway, I got so many books here. Anyway, I was about 18 years old. I started learning marketing, when I was about 18. Okay. So I'm a marketing fool from way back. Okay. And one of the things that we learned in marketing is that it takes about 6 to 10 touches. Write this down. It's very important. It takes 6 to 10 touches before someone even realizes that you exist. Okay. Let me say it again. What we learned in marketing way back in the day was that we had to touch a person 6 to 10 times before they even realized that we exist. Okay. I see some of you guys is touching them 2 or 3 times, like, well, they never got back with me. They don't even know who you are. Listen, if I touch somebody 3 times, they're like, did you send me something? You sure you sent me? Oh yeah, there it is. People are busy. They got things going on. So that's why I say 6 to 10 touches. You don't bombard them all at once, but it's a long play. You stick with it. Okay. You stick with it. Then the last step. Okay. You get them on a call. Now this is the call. This 4th step only comes after they watch the video. Okay. They have to have watched the video. I will not talk to anyone that has not watched the video. It's a waste of time. Okay. That's going to be a 2-hour call. You cannot explain eXp. It's too big. I can't explain eXp. I just say, man, watch the video and let's talk. I can't explain it. This is too much. Okay. And a lot of agents, this is where they fail. Okay. Now, I can say this because I know I'm one of the top 5 recruiters of the 28,000 at eXp. I'm one of the top 5. Okay. Probably even close to the top 3. They don't publish those numbers, but I know the closest people to me, what their stats are. Okay. And, the thing is, and people say, well, that's because you know a lot of people. Well, yeah, I've been teaching people. I've been teaching since I wrote the book Success with Listings back in 2015. Okay. What does that book say? Become famous. Okay. That's 5 years ago, right? You won't even find videos of me on YouTube past 3 years ago. I wasn't even on YouTube. Okay. So it doesn't take that long to be, anybody can do it. It's not hard. It's time over task over time. Right. So, but I will not talk to them until they watch the video. That's why anytime somebody says, hey, Knolly, can you talk to this person? I say, yeah, which video did they watch? Oh, they haven't watched the video. We'll have them watch the video and then let's talk. Okay. They have to watch the video, guys. If they won't watch the video, you can't really have an articulate conversation. Now, they've watched the video. What's the conversation like around after they watch the video? You only have really 2 questions. That's it. Okay. And I'll give you a variation of this. But the first question is, after they've watched the video, listen to me. They've watched the video. Okay. The first question is, tell me more about yourself. Okay, I want to know about them. And you'll notice you guys, because I've talked to every one of you guys that have joined. Some of you guys just joined, you just bypass talking to me altogether. Like, man, I'm sold, I'm in. But most of you guys I had a conversation with. And the first thing I wanted to know was about you. Okay, what have you done? Where are you going? Where you been? Where you going? Where you been? Where you going? Or you could even say, where you been? Where are you now? Where are you going? Where are you headed? Okay. So where have you been? That's just about, hey, how long you been in real estate? What's your production like? What did you do before real estate? Just questions around about them. And you can, and it could be as simple as, well, tell me about yourself. That's it. And then they just start talking. Okay. That's the first question. The second question is, well, I like that, Charles. Well, let me ask you, you've watched the video. What questions do you have? And then I just get silent. See, if you do this right, this is the way that you should attract, okay? Tell me about yourself. What questions do you have? That's it. The number one, I learned this from Gene Frederick, the number 1 attractor at eXp, okay, over history. This is how he does it, you know? It's like, what questions do you have? Now, here's a variation of that. I won't even write it down, but just, you can write this down on your end. So Pamela, let me ask, I'm just playing with you, Pamela. You don't have to get on. I'm just role playing. So Pamela, let me ask you a question here. You've already watched the video, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 means I'm never coming to eXp ever, not in this lifetime. And 10 means I'm ready to join today. Where are you? Where would you say you are? Okay, that's just the question you ask people. And they might say, well, I'm about a 7. I'm about a 7. Well, let me ask you this, Pamela. What would make it a 10? What would make it a 10? Okay, that's another one I learned from Gene Frederick, and part of that from Brent Gove. What would make it a 10? Okay, and then they'll just start telling you, well, if you guys did this, if y'all had it like this, I probably would do it. Okay, great. Like I have people, and I'll share with you some of the because there's all kinds of objections. Are you guys get this already? Am I okay to erase this? Create curiosity. Let me write above it, because I feel like some people may not have gotten that yet. So where's my?
Hey, Knolly.
Yes, sir.
Can you move your mic a little bit?
You can't hear me?
The white. No, it blocks the white.
Oh, it's blocking it? Okay, yeah. There we go. Thanks.
Cool, thanks.
Cool. So, all right, cool. So yeah, I always like to have my mic in front. I got this from Kevin Kaufman. He always has a mic in his face. Looks real professional, like, you know. So
it sounds great.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so now what Gene does, and I haven't adopted this, but I think it's brilliant. I'm going to adopt it one day, because you have to put your own style into how you attract. I mean, like your disc profile or your genius map, it goes into everything you do, right? So what Gene does, and I think it's really good. I'm trying to figure out, I'm working on a way to incorporate it, is he'll ask a question. Well, so what would make it a 10? They say, well, I don't like the 80-20 split. And he'll write it down. 80-20 split. Okay. What else? They'll say, well, that 85 a month, you know, I don't like paying a monthly fee. Okay, 85 a month. What else? See what he's doing? So what he does, and I like that. I don't do it, because when somebody gives me an objection, I like to hit it right then, right? But what Gene does, and I think is brilliant, is he actually allows a person to articulate every objection, and he writes them all down. So they might have 3 objections, okay? So they say, man, I don't like this 80-20 split. I don't like the 85 a month, and I don't like that there's no local offices. Okay, and then Gene will ask, okay, well, what else? Say, well, that's it. So if we could deal with the 80-20 split, the 85 a month, and the no local offices, you'd be a 10. Yeah, I'd be a 10. And you joined today. Yeah, I joined today. Okay, great. And then he just starts hitting them. Then he starts overcoming the objections. I think it's brilliant. I need to learn discipline, because I'm one of those, well, when I hear something, I jump on it. I like to get to it right away. And it's not, because that person might actually have 3 objections, and I might have just completely decimated this objection here to where they feel good, but they still had 2 objections. But by the time we finish, they don't even really remember the first 2, and they're still not a 10, right? So I like his approach better of getting all the objections out. Now, here's another thing to remember. If you don't feel comfortable having this conversation with them, that's where we come in, okay? That's where you basically go upstream, okay? You get your sponsor on the call with you, and if they don't feel adequate, they can get me to do it, right? So, and if I don't feel adequate, guess what? I'm gonna call Kevin or Fred. And if they don't feel adequate, they'll probably get Curtis Johnson. If he doesn't feel adequate, we're gonna call in Jay Kinder or Michael Reese, or maybe we'll get Brent Gove on the call, or maybe we'll even get Gene Frederick. If Gene Frederick doesn't feel adequate, we'll get Dave Knorr, the president of eXp. It doesn't matter. I've got all these guys on speed dial. So whatever it takes, and by the way, you might, and I say that because some of you guys might be talking to a brokerage with 100 agents, okay? And I know that myself, I might have to get Janie Burke on the call. She's over 20 states, okay? There's 3 people at eXp. One's over 20 states, the other one's over 20 states, and the other's over 10 states. They're all friends of mine, okay? So it doesn't matter what level that you need to get people at, we got them. We got them. It doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do now, though, because I'm trying to keep this very, very, very. You see how simple this is, and you create curiosity, you invite them to the opportunity, the video, you follow up with them continually. I use an app that's called Reach. Let me show it to you. It's a little hard to see, but you can see it right there. The Reach app. See that one with the R in it? It's called Reach. Okay, and that's a system that will allow you to do. It's kind of like mass texting, but not quite. It's a hybrid. Okay, so it's not like for Mentorship Masters. I just got this text blasting service that is, actually text blast. Like it'll blast 100 people at once. This one is different. So how this one is set up is you create a message within Reach, okay? And then when you create that message, you tell it what group you want to send it to. And like I have a group of eXp prospects, people that have expressed interest in eXp. And so I say, I want to send it to this group right here. And I've got a bunch of different groups you can see. I've even got a group called Big Fish, which is my big boys that I'm trying to bring over that have, a notable following. And so then I hit the group that I want, and then the names come up, and then I can select which ones to send it to, but I have to send them out individually. So in other words, it'll say, every time it'll pop up and I have to hit send, and then pops up again, send. But the cool thing about that is what it does, it's not like sending a group text. It goes out from your phone, and you can individually tweak every single message that goes out. So if you have 10 people in there, maybe you just talked to one of them yesterday. So you say, hey, we had a good conversation yesterday. Here's another video I want to share with you from my mentor, Knolly Williams, about this, okay? I'm constantly putting out content, guys. So you have, if you've already sent them the video to watch, then you really don't have a reason to send them that video again, but you can still constantly be sharing with them stuff that I put out on YouTube, like, hey, here's my mentor, Knolly Williams, talking about this. I've got a series right now, for example, called The Top 5 Niches in a Down Market and How to Recover from COVID-19. That's a great, these are great little 10-minute videos or 7-minute videos that you can send out. And the frequency, I say, hit them up about, I like to do it about every 10 days. About every 10 days, about 3 times a month. I just follow up with them. Hey, how are you doing? Do you have any questions? Here's a little whatever. And sometimes I'll even send them a picture. Like I'll just take a picture of myself at the moment, and then I'll send them a little text with a picture, and they're personalized. So it'll say, hey, Charles, hey, John, hey, Melinda, hey, Deb. It's personalized to that person. So I like the Reach app. I recommend you at least check it out. There are some other tools out there that I've been kind of looking at. Lucas asked me to look at CRM Grow. I'm not 100% sold on it. I do know that there's agents here that are using it. So I keep trying to fall in love with it, but I'm a steal, just like Charles, I'm a steal. We got several steals on the call. Those of you that know the, what we're talking about, wealth dynamics. And it just doesn't, it's not a tool that I'm excited about yet. One day I might be using it all the time, but right now I'm just not quite there yet. Yeah. Oh, Charles, you asked me to move the mic privately. Sorry about that, buddy. I love it, man. I'm off the cuff anyway, so it didn't matter. Now, what I'm going to do, I know I've been talking a long time, and hopefully I've kind of opened you guys' mind up a little bit around this concept. But what questions do you guys have? Put them in the chat, or just ask me. Pamela says, "How do I know the message was received?" So typically, so I have this thing that I do that I learned from an attorney, and it's called the 2-step. Okay, so this is very important too. By the way, it's not applicable to what we're talking about, but it's basically whenever you send somebody an email and you need to make sure that they reply, you just put in a random question that has nothing to do with anything. Okay. So it's like, I might say something like I do this with clients all the time when I need to make sure that they reply to my email so that I have a written, like for legal purposes, I have a written copy that they received it. So I'll say, I'll put everything that I want to put in there about, hey, you told me about the foundation. It's not on the seller's disclosure. We need to disclose this. Make sure you update the seller's disclosure, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll say, oh, hey, by the way, did you see the such and such? Or, oh, by the way, have you seen that latest movie? It doesn't matter what it is, guys. It's something that they'll reply to, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that. That was cool. It's just a random question that you threw in. So I like to do that with all my communiques. You'll see that now that you guys know that cat's out the bag, you'll see sometimes even when I reply to you, I'll just throw in something. It's just the way I do it now. There's no agenda behind it. It's just programmed into me of how I do. So I make sure that they received it by asking some kind of a question that solicits a response. That's a great question. Does everybody know how to deal with the 80-20 question, the 80-20 issue? Have y'all had that before, or is that not really a big deal where people they don't like to pay the 80%?
I've heard it.
Here's how I deal with it. First thing I want to know is what their production, see, because these are things that a lot of people, unless you're into math, I love math sometimes, but unless you're into math, you really don't quite understand, you don't really see the big picture. Does everybody understand that eXp, the most you'll pay is 20%? But most people, if they follow what I teach, won't ever pay 20%. Do y'all understand that? Well, let me show you. So first thing I want to do, I want to ask a person, what's your production goal? Okay. So, so here's the question that I say. I say, hey, so like I was on the phone with a guy the other day, Tim. I won't say his real name because but let's say, hey, Tim. So what's your goal, man? What's your production goal? He said, well, he said, well, right now I have a 90-10 split with Compass. He said, right now I'm at 90-10 with Compass. I said, okay. So what's your production? He said, 10 million. I'm at 10 million. He said, I don't really like the 80-20 split. I said, but you realize that you're not going to be paying 80% here. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, let me do the math on it. So then I just took 10 million. All you got to do is take the number, 18,000. So let me give you an example. First, if he's going to do 10 million, I said, so your commission would probably be around what, 300,000? He said, yeah, about 300K. So now I know that he wants the $300,000 commission. So now if he's already been doing 10 million, the question is, hey, well, once you become a master at Mentorship Masters, what's your new goal? Okay, because the new goal should be higher than the current goal, right? So, but let's just take where he's at right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say 18,000, which is our cap at eXp. Okay, and then I'm gonna divide that by his commission that he earns, 300,000, right? So that tells me right there that at eXp he'll be paying 6%. Okay, so right there, I was able to tell him, hey, you're on a 90-10 split where you are, but how'd you like to be on a 94-6 split? How'd you like to bump that up to 94%, right? Because where he's at, he has no cap. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to take you from 10 million to 15 million or 20 million. And then guess what? Now, when you're at 20 million, you're only paying 3%. And you're keeping 97%. See? So that 80-20 split argument is gone, okay? Plus, what I was telling him, I said, it looks like you're with the kind of production you do, you'll be what we call an icon. And if you're an icon, okay, an icon, once they do the 16,000, why did I say 18,000 earlier? 16,000. Once should we bump our numbers up or not? No, let's not bump it up. So the 16,000 split, the $16,000 cap at eXp, 100% of that gets paid back when a person hits icon. That means they cap plus they do 20 more deals. technically. I mean, it's a little different. You got to check on it because some deals may not qualify. But technically, I mean, overall, it's like you do an extra 20 deals, you get 100% of your cap back. They say, well, it vests for 3 years. Well, yeah, but I was at Remax for 5 years. I was at Keller Williams for 10. I never had them come back 3 years later and say, hey, here's your full cap. You can cash it out from 3 years ago. Never happened. Okay. So yeah, it's in the form of company stock that vests for 3 years. Big deal. Okay. So that's, and then the local, I mean, we have one day we'll probably just do a objection handling class around agent attraction. I think that would be really good because any objection that they have is really them not looking at the big picture. Okay. Them not looking at the big picture of what we offer. Let me see. Okay. Any other objections you guys are hearing or any other questions around attraction? I know right now, are you having some weirdness? People are wanting to stay kind of stuck where they are, or what are you seeing?
Hey, no, I'll just give you my perspective. So I got a call yesterday actually from one of the Keller Williams managing directors at their office. And, you know, she was going on and on about some of the things that they put in place around maintaining some of the incentives that they put in place recently. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I think what you said earlier is absolutely correct. They're stepping up, really trying to, you know, incentivize and keep their agents right now.
Yeah, and we have to look at it as being very smart. You know, somebody had come to me and they said, hey, you realize that there's an office at Keller Williams that's going to match the eXp cap? I'm like, great. It's about time. I mean, see, and what a lot of people don't understand is there was a publishing company, big publishing company, big. And this guy, they do $1 billion a year plus, okay? And this guy, he basically came up, he was one of the head of the company. He said, what you guys don't understand is that you can't compete with what we're doing, okay? The only way that you can compete with what we're doing is just to copy it. So when I see people copying what we do at eXp, I think it's great. I mean, it's the way, I mean, because eXp has figured out how it should be done. See, you got to realize that and this is a whole nother conversation we won't go into fully, but the industry itself is a corrupt industry. Okay. It just is. I just got to say it. Just like when I was in the music business, it was corrupt. Okay. The music business, we put out a CD, we charge $16 to the end user, but the CD cost us $1. Okay. How did it end up being $16? Okay. Well, I just got to say, I mean, it was just a lot of corruption. And not corruption in the sense of just blatant people are corrupt and mafia and all this. It's just the thing has gotten out of hand, okay? And it's just a lot of good old boys doing business the way they used to do, okay? And it's always been an upstream type business. See, when eXp came around, eXp said, we're going to level the playing field. There's no owner. There's no franchise owner. There's no, what do you mean I'm not? And this is the reason why a lot of the big operating principals and owners and brokers don't like eXp, because it kind of dips into the game that's been played for so many years. It's like it goes against the game. And this is why the music industry was completely decimated in about 2002, 2003. Why I had to get out of the game, okay, was because MP3 came along, and it basically, because people at some point, it's gonna correct itself, okay? You can only game people for so long, and the elites of the game, and this has always been in any industry, in the food industry, in agriculture, in medicine, okay? How did the medical industry came? The Rockefellers and other families created the medical system. They created the allopathic system that we all know and a lot of people love, called the medical industry, right? The health industry that doesn't heal anybody. It doesn't even make you healthy. It doesn't even provide cures, by the way. We all know this. They just basically give you a Band-Aid to kind of suppress the symptomology of what you're dealing with. That's all it is. But it's a money-making scheme. That's all it's ever been. It's to make money, Okay, it's not to help you or make you, you know. And this is the way the music industry was. It's the same way the brokerage industry has always been favored to the top. You know, that cream. You know, it's like it's a slave mentality. It's always been. And this is the reason why companies like eXp, when they come along, they call them disruptors. They disrupt the industry. Okay, and this is why the big reason why eXp has been badmouthed, not because it's a bad concept. Okay, Netflix was badmouthed. Netflix went to Blockbuster and said, "Would you buy our company for $1 billion?" Okay, now it's worth how much? A whole lot of billions. A whole lot of billions. Because Blockbuster said, "Fool, I'm not buying that crap. We have stores. We're going to make people get up, you know, at 11 o'clock at night and come return movies. And if they don't rewind a movie, you know what we're going to do? We're going to charge rewind fees. We're going to do." And so pretty soon, a concept like Netflix and something like Uber comes along and says, it's a level playing field. Everybody's in the game now. And that's what eXp did, says everybody's in the game. You know, you mean that little scrap kid, Knolly Williams, could be in the game and he ain't never owned an office? Nah, he's in the game. He's got over 100 agents now. Oh, really? Well, how's he doing that? He's with eXp. It's a disruptor. And when you have disruptors like that are messing up the status quo, I guarantee you the elites don't like it. And they're going to be talking, they're going to badmouth as much as they can. But eventually the people will have a say. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. And I got to say, even with COVID-19, unfortunately, we don't like COVID. We don't want it to come around. But people have realized that they got to do stuff differently. They've got to do stuff differently. All right. So, guys, we're just about out of time. If not, we are out of time. Let's carry it. If you guys have any questions around attraction, make sure that you go over to the portal. I've got all the videos there. I've got tons of videos. I've got scripts. I've got other people talking about attraction and giving you their spin on how they do it. Really get yourself in a mode where you understand this, because the second half of this year, okay, the second half of this year, there's going to be a bunch of people looking at this model, and you want to be the one that gets out in front of them now, or first, I should say. You know, do it with love. Okay. Scripture says, present the truth in love, you know, and not everybody, get over it. Not everybody's going to see it. That's okay. Okay. It's not for everybody. Yeah, it's a platform for success. That's what Pamela says. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you on the next one. All right. Love y'all.